What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to talk about a movie that is easily going to be my personality for the next couple of months. A film written and directed by Guillermo del Toro that is so good I want to kiss him on the lips. That's right, we're talking about 2025's Frankenstein. I remember the first time I ever read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I was a junior in high school and I had to read it for class, and I really wasn't excited about it because even though I loved reading, up until that point, I never enjoyed a book that I was forced to read for school. But the second that I opened that book, everything changed. It ignited something in me, an obsession that has lasted for years. And the thing about Frankenstein is it doesn't matter what form it's in, whether it's a book, a movie, a stage play, it's a tragedy, it's a comedy. I want to consume it. So when I heard that the legendary filmmaker Guillermo del Toro was making a Frankenstein film, I lost my damn mind. I have been counting down the days, and when it was announced that they were going to have a limited theater release, I knew what I had to do. So I made my way to the movie theaters, acquired an icy, sank into one of those comfy reclining seats, and enjoyed one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking versions of this story that I have ever seen. The movie essentially opens and closes with the end of the story, sandwiching in between it two versions of the same tale. Victor Frankenstein, brilliantly played by Oscar Isaac, is near death in the Arctic when he is found by a stranded ship crew. Upon rescue, the men aboard this ship come face to face with the monstrous creature that is determined to get his hands on Victor. From there, Del Toro weaves two narratives together. We have Victor's confession to the captain of what he's done, and then later, the creatures take on the events. A creator and the creation, each desperate to be understood. Like most Del Toro films, the movie is stunning. Visually, it's so beautiful. It's just, I'm speechless. And everything about it, the acting, the sets, the writing, it's beautiful. That's the only way to describe it. It is a flawless movie, in my opinion. I can't find anything bad about it. You know what? My only complaint? That it ended, and then I had to go back into the real world and leave this beautiful story. We often refer to the creature as a monster, but this film flips that. Victor, in his egotistical obsession, becomes the true monster, another abusive and unloving father figure just like his own dad. And Oscar Isaac is entrancing in this role. You despise this character, but you also can't look away and want more of his just crazed obsession and just how his life has been taken over by this thing that he's been thinking about as a child and has completely derailed everything that he ever had. And then there's Jacob Elordi as the creature. His portrayal is deeply human and haunting. A being born into loneliness, searching for acceptance and the warm touch of another. Not romantic love. I'm just talking about unconditional, beautiful love that you would find with a parent or a friend. Something we literally all long for. And he made me cry twice. He brings the most heartbreaking performance that I've seen in a long time. And if Jacob doesn't win an award from this performance, we riot, okay? And the design of the monster, of the creature, is very different from what we've seen previously. It's very much on par with the way that Mary Shelley described the creation in her book. His limbs were in proportion, and I had selected his features as beautiful. Beautiful, great God! His yellow skin scarcely covered the work of muscles and arteries beneath. His hair was of a lustrous black and flowing, his teeth of pearly whiteness, but these luxuriances only formed a more horrid contrast with his watery eyes, that seemed almost of the same color of the dun-white sockets in which they were set, his shriveled complexion and straight black lips. We've seen countless versions of this story. terrifying, dramatic, funny, kid-friendly, but we've never seen one quite like this. The closest might be the depiction of Frankenstein and his creator in Penny Dreadful, but even that doesn't quite compare. One thing's for sure, don't expect to walk into this movie and see the 1931 classic that is iconic and screams of "It's alive!" This is Del Toro's Frankenstein, a faithful adaptation of Mary Shelley's novel, but also a deeply personal reimagining that restores the creature's soul. And it's always kind of like, Frankenstein gets put into horror, right? But often, I don't know if I'd necessarily describe his story as horror in the way people think about it, right? But I could tell you, this movie does not shy away from the horror of what's really happening here. Del Toro embraces the grotesque as he usually does and shows you the bloody horror of stitching life together from death. But at the same time, the gore is not over the top. It's very reverent. Victor is very much painted as a villain, a monster, a person that exhibits the Ian Malcolm quote from Jurassic Park.
Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
The gore forces the viewer to view Victor as the true monster that he is, confronting the cost of creation and the ugliness to make something beautiful. It's all just so very Del Toro, blending horror and tenderness to make the macabre sacred, which leads me to my next point. It's no secret that Guillermo loves monsters, but Frankenstein is the monster that shaped him. In a Netflix interview, Guillermo talked about how he felt about that original 1931 Frankenstein, and he said, "I understood everything that I didn't in Catholicism. The resurrected flesh, the Immaculate Conception, the stigmata, the otherworldly Messiah. It was through that film that the creature became my savior, my avatar." His adaptation of the story feels like a confession, a love letter, and a resurrection. And he also said, "I've lived with Mary Shelley's creation all my life. For me, it's the Bible, but I wanted to make it my own, to sing it back in a different key with a different emotion." And that's exactly what he's done. He's taken a story that we've seen time and time again, and we should honestly all be exhausted of, but much like Victor, he breathed new life into a creation that has long been dead. Del Toro, the monster lover, said that he hopes that this movie captivates audiences the way that he's been captivated and inspired by this character and story for so many years. He said, and I quote, "May monsters inhabit your dreams and give you as much solace as they have given me, for we are all creatures lost and found." So, Guillermo, if you happen to be watching this for whatever reason, from one monster lover to another, you did that. You have made something eternal that I truly do believe people will study in film school for years to come. 2025's Frankenstein is not just a movie, it's a masterpiece. I will love and appreciate this movie every day of my life, and it will live rent-free in my head until my dying day. If by the time I put this video out, it is still in the theaters, I know it's very limited, run to the theaters and watch this movie. I firmly believe, like most Del Toro films, this deserves to be seen on the big screen. But I know it's limited, and if you can't, do not skip out on this when it hits Netflix. This is a must-watch. Again, cannot describe in words how much I love and adore, and I'm just blown away by this film. Speechless. If you've seen the movie, get down in the comments, let me know what you think, because I am dying to nerd out about this movie that is easily one of my new favorites of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie review. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later.